It looks like everybody has already turned in their checkpoint for this week. So we're going to go over it real quick. The first thing that I want to show you is that this is an editing passage. It wasn't super clear in the directions because it does say revisions and corrections, but if you look at the answer choices, they're asking you to change one thing to another and asking you for the different parts, about the different parts of cups. So if you're not sure, you can look at the answer choices, and if it's asking you about all the different parts of cups, you know that it's an editing passage. So this is an editing passage. The title is My Trip to the State Fair. Okay. Number 1 says, what change, if any, should be made in sentence 1? Notice that I underlined change and sentence 1. Okay, so I'm going to come back up here and underline sentence 1. Okay. A says change the State Fair of Texas to the State Fair of Texas. So this is, if we were to write cups over here, this is a capitalization because if you notice the difference between this one and this one is that the is included in the title. Okay, the is included. On this one, it's not included and it's not capitalized. Okay, so that's the difference between this one and this one. If we're not sure if this should be capitalized or not, if you're unsure, don't mark it out. If you are sure that it's not the correct answer choice, then you can mark it out. But if you're not sure, leave it blank and come back to it. Look at the other answer choices first. Okay, B says change through to through. Change through to through. So I'm going to come back up here, find the word through, and I'm going to put the word through. Okay, these are two different words. So this is usage in our cups. Okay, the smell of corn dogs, tacos, and popcorn greeted us as we walked through the front gates of the State Fair of Texas. If you were to look these up in the dictionary, you would know which one goes in this sentence. This one means to throw a ball, okay, to throw something in past tense. My teacher threw me a pencil when I didn't have one, okay. This one means to go through something, okay? This one is a directional word. So as we walked through the front gates, I'm going through something. This is the correct usage. This is the correct word to use. This one is not, because this one, I'm not throwing anything in this sentence. Okay, so this one can't be it because that's already correct. C says insert a comma after us. So find the word us and put a comma, and then ask yourself, why would I need a comma here? Is it a comma conjunction? Okay, that as is not a fanboy. Okay, the smell of corn dogs, tacos, and popcorn greeted us as we walked through the front gates of the State Fair of Texas. Would we break or pause there? Doesn't make sense to me. Okay, this is not our answer choice. We would not put a comma there. Okay, now we're unsure about this one. This one says no change needs to be made. If you're not 1,000% sure about these being incorrect, do not pick this one. Let's look at A again. Change the State Fair of Texas to the State Fair of Texas. I know that when I'm looking at a title of something, a lot of books have the word the at the beginning. A lot of places have the word the at the beginning. Whenever I see that on a book, the word the is always capitalized. This does need to be included in the title of the State Fair of Texas, and this is a proper noun because it's the name of a place, and so we would capitalize it. This is our answer choice. Okay, and we would use the capitalization rule for cups. Okay, let's look at number 2. What change, if any, needs to be made in sentence 3? Again, change sentence 3. Let's go back to sentence 3 and underline it. My mouth was already watering for cotton candy. My mouth was already watering for cotton candy. F says change was to were. Okay, so find the word was, change it to were. I know there's not a lot of space on this one. I'm going to try to make sure that there's plenty of space on the next checkpoint that we do. My mouth were already watering for cotton candy. Were doesn't make sense here. That is not the correct usage. We would not change the word was to the word were. So we would not use the usage here because it's not correct. It was already correct. G says change watering to watered. Change watering to watered. Okay, so let's find watering and change it to watered. I'm going to do it underneath. Okay, ing means it's happening right now. Ed means past tense. In this one, it doesn't make sense to use the ed though. My mouth was already watered for cotton candy. My mouth was already watered for cotton candy does not make sense. This one, this ing goes with this word already. Okay? So if you read it out loud, you should be able to tell which one makes sense, which suffix makes sense in the sentence. My mouth was already watering for cotton candy makes sense. My mouth was already watered for cotton candy does not make sense. Okay, so I would not change that. It was already correct. H says change was to had. Okay, here's the word was. Let's change it to had. My mouth had already watering for cotton candy. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't to me. Okay, so let's make sure that it makes sense with was. My mouth was already watering for cotton candy. That does make sense. Okay, so I am sure that it is not any of these. The answer is J. Number 3, what change, if any, should be made in sentence 4? A says change year to year with a capital Y. So this would be capitalization in my cups. Okay, so we're going back to sentence 4. Sorry, I missed that part. Underline it. The state fair only come once a year, and I wanted to make the most of it. I already heard the mistake when I read that out loud. Okay, so the first answer choice, A, says change year to a capital Y. Okay, is this a proper noun? No. Okay, is it the beginning of the sentence? No. Do I need a capital here? No. That's not my answer choice. Okay, B says change wanted to wants. Change wanted to wants. Here's the word wanted. I'm going to do it underneath. Wants. The state fair only come once a year, and I wants to make the most of it. Does that make sense? No. I wanted to make the most of it. Makes sense. Okay. So it was already correct. We don't want to change it. C says change come to comes. The state fair only comes once a year, and I wanted to make the most of it. It did say the state fair only come once a year. Does that make sense? No. The state fair only comes once a year. That makes sense. This is the correct usage. This is not. Okay, I need that S on the end. Okay, so C was our answer choice there. Number 4 says, what change, if any, should be made in sentence 7? Let's find sentence 7. Then I yelled, let's get going. Then I yelled, let's get going. F says, delete the quotation marks before let's. Remember, quotation marks let us know somebody's talking. delete the quotation marks before let's. Okay? I'm yelling here, let's get going. This is what I'm yelling. So I need the quotation marks around it to show what I was yelling. Okay, I do need those quotation marks. This is not my answer choice. G says change let's to let's. So there's an apostrophe there before the S. Let's, okay? This is a contraction. It's made up of two words. Okay, let and us. Whenever we combined these two words, poof, this U turned into an apostrophe. Let us turned into let's. It needs the apostrophe because it's a placeholder for this vowel U. This is the correct answer choice, but let's go ahead and check H. H says change get to got. Okay, then I yelled, let's got going. That doesn't make sense. Let's got going. That sounds weird. Okay, and I know that this is supposed to be a contraction, so